Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. We've got 3 pieces of content for you today. First, Cassie's response to Colton's new docu-series coming out on Friday. Then Tayshia, when she's going to be announcing some information regarding her breakup to Zach. And then I've got Tyler. And by the way, if you're new to this channel, you're like, who are these people? Don't worry about it. Keep scrolling. Move past it. You don't need to know. Then we got Tyler and what he has to say about Hannah Brown's book that's coming out. So there's 4 big stories happening right now. The other one being Katie and Blake and the 12 years of mess or whatever's going on. I don't have any content for them, so don't worry. There's no content for them today, but things can change fast. It's my last day recording here in New York City at my mobile studio setup. I can't wait to be home tomorrow. It's going to be a hell of a flight back tomorrow morning, so just hang tight as far as content goes, and I appreciate everyone subscribing. We are officially 2,300 subscribers away from getting to 50,000. Will we get there by the end of 2021? We'll have to see. We will have to see. So we'll get into this story right here. Cassie's commented through a source. Hey, but don't forget, it is November 30th, 2021, and it is Giving Tuesday. And a quick update on where we are with the toy drive. $6,500 has been donated out of 10,000. We had a really good weekend, and then the last day or so was a little bit slower. And I know it's because a lot of you loyal people donated right up front. So if you're considering donating and haven't already, go to this toy drive in the link below. Gifts go to underprivileged kids all across the country. Donations have rolled in from $1 all the way up to $500, and I appreciate all of you. I think we can get there hopefully by the end of the week, but Vlogmas starts tomorrow. I've already got vlog 1 for Vlogmas. They are video Christmas logs. I will share those with you starting tomorrow, so get ready for that on the vlog channel. And let's get right into this. So Cassie says she's being roped back into all of this. And it's true. Of course, her story is intertwined with Colton's. Colton allegedly tracked her and she got a temporary restraining order. She later dropped the charges when Brian Friedman, you might know him as powerful attorney Brian Friedman. Oh, my light already went out. When Brian Friedman, just nothing but technical issues here in a hotel room. Brian Friedman and her had a settlement, so they never did a permanent restraining order. And he vowed to become a changed man. Little did she know he'd be coming out of the closet as such. Still a thorn in her side after the trailer dropped on Monday for Colton Underwood's new Netflix series coming out cold. And a source exclusively told Page 6 that his ex, Cassie Randolph, is frustrated that their tumultuous breakup is being rehashed. And of course, hey, it's like, look, yes, it's being rehashed. He's got a docuseries. It's unfortunate, but this is what's going on. A lot of people were wondering if Cassie had signed off on the docuseries, knowing that due to their restraining order being dropped, he's been hiding behind the idea of like, look, we decided not to talk about things. Well, now he's talking about it, and clearly she's annoyed. So will she share her side now that if there was an agreement to not talk a gag order, does that mean he violated it and now she's free to talk? We'll have to see. The source says Cassie really just wants to move past any drama having to do with Colton. She's being roped back into all this Colton mess because of the Netflix show. There are a lot of bad memories associated with the end of their relationship, and she wishes there was a way to completely separate herself from his narrative. Former Bachelor lead Underwood handed his final rose to Cassie Randolph while filming season 23. They never got engaged. The pair continued dating and even lived together at one point. So yesterday we shared that the trailer for Colton's new docuseries is out, and I was surprised, like a lot of you, that he mentions it. I'm going to share some thoughts from Date Card Pod as they say, like, look, this isn't enough. Randolph got a restraining order against Underwood in September after he allegedly stalked her, attaching a tracking device to her vehicle, sending disturbing text messages, creating an account where he actually also harassed himself from a fake account. So Colton's dad in the docu-series trailer said, I lost it. Cassie filed a restraining order against you. So they say her by name. You went off the rails, Colton's dad, Scott, tells him in the clip, while a friend adds elsewhere, what you put her through was Underwood had previously apologized to Cassie publicly, most notably when he came out in an emotional April appearance on Good Morning America. So very doubtful that he's apologizing and also admitting to the serious allegations. It seems like they're going to just keep it in a blanket statement of the stalking. They're not going to say exactly what went down. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll address the tracking device. I doubt it, but it would be nice to hear his thoughts on that. Initially, Cassie addressed the influx of support she received in the wake of the news while promoting her YouTube channel in April, telling fans, "Thank you everyone for all the kind comments and messages. Later in the video, she said, "I'm not going to be further discussing it or commenting on it for now. There's a lot of layers, and I just think the best thing for me at this time is to move forward and just focus on going forward." Of course, this is before she finds out that her stalker ex-boyfriend is coming out of the closet with a Netflix docuseries. So will that change things? I reserve the right to change the way I feel about something with new information. And if Cassie decides she wants to tell her side of the story or go further if she feels the docuseries didn't properly discuss the sensitivities of domestic violence, then that's her story to tell. It's nice to see that he appears genuinely sorry, and it's comforting to know that his friends and family are holding him accountable for everything he did to Cassie, the source says. However, a second source told us that most of the women of season 23 are unequivocally Team Cassie. The collective attitude among the girls of season 23 is that they're happy for Colton, but are more concerned about Cassie in the situation. There is concern among Bachelor Nation about how Colton's show is going to make her feel. They want her to feel supported as it plays out. At her core, Cassie supports Colton telling his story if that helps him and other people in the LGBTQIA plus community. Did they add a vowel there? The part that sucks is that there's really no way for him to tell his story without mentioning their breakup. I sound like an old grandpa. They keep adding vowels, Just put the whole alphabet in there. All inclusivity. That's true inclusivity. The whole alphabet, rainbow flag. Do what you want to do with your life and your body and whatever brings you joy and happiness. And don't judge others. That's Christianity for you folks. Don't judge others, right? Love your neighbor. Don't covet them. Unless they covet you. If you both covet each other, if you both swipe right on Tinder, cover the hell out of each other. Don't covet your neighbor's wife, unless you're into that thing and they're consenting adults, in which covet away. All right, we're rolling. You ever wonder what's going on with the hotel next to me in room 702? They're like, what's going on next door? I don't know. They're coveting each other's neighbors. Do what you got to do. All right, so that's that, and I'm going to read for you guys what was said here by Date Card Pod. I love Date Card Pod. They go hard. They go hard in the paint, and this is what I'm talking about. My channel, look, we cover stories. I think I go hard on Colton. I think I go hard. Some people say I go too hard on Tayshia, PPP. Yeah, you know me. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like, when we see BS, we call it out. It's what we try to do, I don't know. So... trigger warning here, content warning, domestic abuse, which we've been talking about. Date Card Pod says the first of many discourse moments, I'm sure, regarding coming out Colton. First, we stand with survivors of domestic violence. Second, we stand with our gay community. It's important to note the two. We can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? As discussed before, restorative justice for those harmed by domestic violence is a layered concept I'm not educated enough on. But ultimately, in the reality we live in, Colton was not and cannot be canceled. It doesn't exist for white men. And he seemingly will not experience any adverse accountability for his actions. Whether that is because Cassie herself has decided to not press charges and or the system is useless for restorative justice, only carceral justice that doesn't fit rape and violence culture. I'm still learning about the harmful aspects of the perpetrator, binary, and the cops, prosecutors in our heads we must destroy. Again, layered and nuanced, and I'm not smart. Okay, half that went over my head. I don't have a PhD. I'm not that smart. But it's good content. I had hoped there would be public accountability for months. Then Colton came out. And in that interview, he said he knew he had hurt someone and was deeply sorry because he was hurting. And that is likely his truth. Hurt people. However, many closeted people don't stalk and harass and scare people in the process. I mentioned this last video and I still got called out from someone in the comment section. Dave, just because he did that doesn't mean everyone who comes out does that. I know, dummy. I said the same thing. Of course. You shouldn't expect someone who comes out of the closet to have lived a life that was a lie where they stalked and harassed their ex. But in his case, that's part of his story. Not making excuses. All right? Not making excuses. Just talking about what the heck went down so we can piece it all together. Whatever version of accountability we can have in Bachelor Nation, the show of unpacking and learning, or at least some resources you're using, I figured would now come on his Netflix series. The show maybe deceptively shows us that he touches a restraining order and harassment subject, so I had a small moment of depressed hope. Me too. Still red flags in my head. Is this the place to do it on a show? Maybe this is all we will ever get, though. Is Cassie approving of it? Me thinking if he talks about it, then she might have signed off. I will say I was, and I'm still very mad he's profiting off of telling this part of his story. But then I read a review from Variety after the journalist viewed the series, and all that hope is gone. I will share screenshots and the link next. So again, we don't know what actually goes down in the documentary, but these are some moments from a journalist who actually watched the whole thing. The series apparently intends to further destigmatize the process of coming out. On its way to that worthy social goal, though, it rings out drama with the first 2 episodes ending on cliffhangers as we wait to see how straight men in Underwood's life will react. The actual scenes of Underwood declaring he is gay to family members and associates from his football career tend to have an airless quality, as though they were restaged versions of reality. Whatever the case, Underwood amiably but blank remains stiff on camera even after having unburdened himself. Part of Underwood's lack of charisma on the series can perhaps be chalked up to the oddity of going through these rites of confessions on camera. Part may be due to his discomfort still with the subject matter. Underwood appears to place a premium on being seen as masculine, and on scenes with the more garrulous out-gay Olympian Gus Kenworthy, attempting to play mentor carry with them a vicarious awkwardness that the show shies away from rather than exploring more deeply. But that again is an interpretation that is maximally generous to Underwood. He may also look uncomfortable on camera because he's concealing something. He admits that he literally cannot discuss the end of his relationship with Randolph in detail for legal reasons he created in his settlement. This and Randolph's absence present a structural problem for a show that must talk around the harm Underwood did to another person in the process of finding himself. So we hear that, okay, so there's going to be no details to the specifics of his stalking and harassing. The intended audience for Coming Out Colton is unclear. Straight allies among the Bachelor's viewership might have had reason to applaud Underwood, but for the fact that the relationship is forged on the show ended with acrimony and with Underwood's alleged allegations of threatening behavior, nevertheless, one of the women he dated on this season appears to lend her full-throated support as if to gesture towards him someday being welcomed back into Bachelor Nation. And then they said, "Shut up, Demi." Let's see if we have it. So yeah, I don't think he has full approval, nor does it sound like he even does any real discourse about domestic violence and harassment. It's fluffy at best, harmful narratives pushed at worst to get clicks and to help his rebrand into gay celebrity. Netflix could have given a platform to so many others to help rightfully destigmatize self-hatred, homophobia, and toxic masculinity. Again, I'm going to watch the docu-series, and then we're going to hear from other people like Date Card Pod, who brings up a lot of great points. Because if you watch the trailer for Colton's documentary, I got goosebumps because on one hand, they're playing the music, the slow motion shots, the testimonials, you feel for the guy. But then the story where we have grace for Cassie is not really told, but maybe it will be. We haven't watched it yet. I want to say that there's part of me that thinks if the straight Bachelor Nation folks who watch to be exposed to queerness and learn, and they need a show with someone they know doing it to unpack their homophobia, then yeah, I guess this show could be for you. Again, this is why it's good for white people to discuss racism, because if I discuss it, it might help unpack racism or transgressions, microaggressions to other white people because they look like me and they can hear the way I'm saying something in a way that's not coming at them. Do you know what I mean? So as a white guy, to talk about the domestic violence and all the issues going on here, it could be good for other white men and women to hear it coming from someone like me versus women who you already hear it from. Does that make sense? Put it this way: by not being the victim here and talking about this, I think it adds value. And they have a good point here on Date Card Pod that the fact that Colton may be reaching a Midwestern Catholic, because he was raised Catholic, right? In athletic, reaching athletes that want to come out of the closet, he might not be the best representation for all of the LGBTQIA plus community, but if he can reach a segment that hasn't been reached before, then that is a good thing. For the gays, if you want to watch because you like queer content and pop culture, or you love watching a cis male gay bees be uncomfortable, or just need to know how it goes, then go for it. Someone has to write a funny Reddit recap, so thanks in advance. Yep, that is true. So you can go check that out. And of course, as always, again, another promotion for Dave Neal's Bachelor Nation toy drive at $6,500, which is 65% of the goal. More content coming out today. Let me know what you think about. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I messed that up. Can you still hear me? Let me know what you think about all that, and we'll figure out this setup. Last day in New York City. If you're catching this, it's Tuesday. I have a show in Williamsburg tonight at Crystal Lake. It's a cool lounge, and that's at 8 p.m. And then I fly out before sunrise, and I'll be back by mid-morning tomorrow in Los Angeles for the launch of Vlogmas. We'll see you guys later. Bye now.